We can do that. We can do that at the closing. All right.
Caleb, you're very orange.
What?
You're very orange, dog.
Nah, my skin tone match perfectly.
Dude.
I don't need anything. Need me tonight. Got that fire in my soul. Everything.
No, it's like we're doing a vlog.
Right. Yeah, a vlog.
It's pretty cool.
Before the IB program, I lived a really carefree life. I played video games till 4 in the morning. I never studied for tests, but I got high marks. I slept through classes during my grade 8 year, and I was hoping that I would have a very relaxing high school experience. You can guess how that turned out.
So before coming to St. John Paul II, I went to school in Pickering, and before that I went to school in Sri Lanka, and before that I went to school, elementary school in Scarborough. And in all of those schools and in all of those years, I was never really challenged. But the IB program kind of changed that.
I mostly spent my time studying and playing video games, and there would be times in my life where I would be overly obsessed with video games, which affected my academics. But ever since then, the only thing that has really changed were my interests and perspective on life.
So, my journey began back in my grade 8 year. During the month of October and November, we had to choose which high school we wanted to attend to. My choices were Mark Garneau for the TOPS program, which is like IB but for the sciences, or this computer science program in SATEC. However, my parents rejected the idea before I could even apply for it, so I decided to go with Laurier for the IB program and Pope for the academic program. However, what happened was that for Laurier, they looked at your learning skills, and my learning skills were really bad because I had N's everywhere. I had like N's in what? Self-regulation, independent work, organization. So I couldn't get in there. So I just applied for Pope Academic. And then the weird thing was that I come home one day and I look in the mail and I find out that I was accepted into IB. It said, "Congratulations, Nitishan Sivalingam, you are now enrolled into the IB program." I was very confused. I thought I didn't apply for IB, and I'm like, what's going on? What is this? I thought my mom might have slipped in an IB, like a form, but then my parents didn't really have the expectations for me to go to IB. And also, I didn't write the essay or anything, so it didn't make any sense to me. I decided to take up the opportunity of going to the IB program. I had a choice. I was either going to say or tell someone or tell like an administrator or a teacher that they made a mistake. I should be in the IB program because I didn't give an essay or I didn't give an application. I decided that whatever, I'm just gonna go with it. I'm gonna just be in the IB program. After I accepted the offer, or after I was okay with it, I told my guidance counselor that I'm gonna be going here. I talked to my brother and my cousin about the IB program. A lot of my family members have been in the IB program, and a lot of people I know are in the IB program. Also, they're at Pope too. So I was really prepared for high school. I knew a lot of people. My brother helped me a lot, or told me a lot about IB, what to expect. I wasn't too worried about it. Also, I knew a few of the books. I remember reading To Kill a Mockingbird, a little bit of To Kill a Mockingbird, and a bit of Perfume.
So when I came to Pope, there was obviously tests and hard times and a few struggles, but there was also people who got me through it, the people I met in summer school. I had to deal with a lot of problems, adjusting to the new thing. I had to learn the names of people and make friends, and that was kind of hard for me. I might seem outgoing, but sometimes I really have trouble talking with people. The first year I came to Pope, it was like a flash of cold water in my face, because before that I didn't study for a single test, and then the first grade I got was like 15% below what I wanted. So I realized I had to study now, and it was different, and it was weird. And also in the first year, I was bullied a little physically. I was never bullied physically before, but the first year, I felt like I felt like me getting through that, I felt like I improved. And this year, my biggest problem is like how much I'm procrastinating, and I feel like I'm slacking and slouching in terms of my performance, and I need to learn how to time manage again. So last semester of this year, I understudied very much for the final exam. Like the only time I prepped for my math exam was the day before the math exam, the night before actually, and my overall marks, they were way less than what I wanted. Like my average was less than what I wanted, and now exams are looming, and I intend to not make the same mistake. I'm gonna study a week before, and I'm going to perform how I want, up to my own standards, and in this way I'll slay the dragon.
So, after a very disappointing year academically in grade 10 for high school at Pope John Paul II, I've kind of decided to stop taking IB because it just like, I haven't really been doing too well, and also for personal reasons. And it was a very tough decision to make at first, but this all kind of just happened back in tech class in first semester, and I guess like it didn't, the way they worked just like was not really was not very familiar for me at least. And then while I was doing the work, it was kind of just like I was having trouble to understand. And then this kind of mentality affected me in second semester when it came to the actual like pre-IB stuff, and even like the first IB course we ever took was grade 11 math, preparing us for functions, and it would, like my mentality then couldn't handle the amount of work that I had. And actually, one of the most sole reasons I was here at Pope John Paul II was for the IB program, but I guess I decided to stop taking it, and I guess this would be better for me, and to like not be so stressed out and like have trouble just even wanting to come to school. Like it's been hard for me to like even come to school after the like how difficult the work has become. And if it was gonna get difficult then I guess I just would have to stop and take something a little bit easier for me. Since next year I'm going to be moving into the grade 11 academic program, I believe this is kind of like a fresh start for me, as I'm able to like start from the very beginning, from like every single course, and based on how well I do, and I'm just going to have to like retain those old study habits I had back in grade 9. And what I like about moving into this program is that it gives me that it gives me a balance now, like kind of like the way I used to work back then. It was more or less just like more freedom than work, so it did not handle me well for the IB program. So as I decided to move into academic, I guess this sparked me motivation to just like start actually doing the work more often again, as I didn't have to worry too much about a program that I didn't really want to go to, because it was kind of just like a forced kind of thing. When I decided to take Pope, they kind of just like recommended the IB program, and then I thought it wouldn't be so bad, but I guess it just doesn't apply to everybody, and I guess I believe it'll be like a new start for me.
I was very unsure where my IB journey would take me. What I learned from the beginning of it was that you should take the opportunities that are given to you.
My story shows how I'm in the middle of my IB journey, and despite past failures, I must keep moving on.
So even though my IB life has come to an end, a new journey begins.